What's up, it's Malik. A lot of y'all don't know this, but I'm from New Orleans, Louisiana. I lived there till I was about 7 or 8 years old. But the main reason I live in South Carolina right now is because of a hurricane named Katrina. Now, y'all know I'm a filmmaker and I love storytelling. So for this story, I wanted to make it a bit more sentimental than just me sitting in front of this camera. I wanted to bring visuals into this story so y'all would feel it. Because this story right here is a key part of my life, and I feel like without this big event happening in my life, I wouldn't be the person I am today. So yeah, with that being said, let me tell y'all a story about a hurricane named Katrina. Hurricane Katrina hit on August 29, 2005, but the whole week, the news stations, local news stations, even national news stations was going off about this big hurricane named Katrina. They were like, it's 2 times the size. It was, I don't know if it was 2 times the size, but they said this was the biggest hurricane in history. Now, to everybody else in the world, that seemed like, oh my gosh, but to New Orleans, man, it was just like, we get hurricanes all the time, so we just gonna wait this one out. I mean, living by the water all your life, you're gonna have weather issues, you feel me? And that's what New Orleans is. You live on the water. Well, something like that. We're 2 feet below sea level. So when people in New Orleans heard that, some people evacuated, but most were just like, yo, we're just gonna wait it out. Because normally when news stations would say that we would have a hurricane coming, it would just be a really bad thunderstorm. But Katrina wasn't that, dog. I remember I was starting 2nd grade, man. It was like the 3rd day of 2nd grade, and that's when they was really putting out what do you call it, evacuation alerts. I think me, my mom, and my brother, we left the day before Hurricane Katrina hit, or the day of. My dad was driving trucks at the time, so I would only see him every so often. So basically what we were gonna do, we were gonna meet up with my dad in, I think, Mississippi. No, it was St. Charles. My family's living situation at the time was kind of tight. We lived in this like long way house. It was my grandma's house. It was a 3-bedroom house with 6 people living in it. It was me, my brother, my mom and my dad, my grandma, and my cousin Ari. At that time, we didn't really see the house as small. It was just like all we really knew, so it was just whatever. So on that day that we evacuated, my mom was like, hey, it was after school actually. My mom was like, hey, everybody just get what you want. Because we had the thought in our mind that, look, this is going to be a pretty bad storm, but it's not gonna be that bad. We were wrong. So we had the intentions on coming back to New Orleans to stay. So we really didn't grab much. We grabbed like 2-3 days of clothes and we just bounced. But the thing is, we left my grandma there, and my cousin Ari, I think she was like across the river by her mom's house. The only reason that she would stay at my grandma's house is because she wanted to go to the school district that was in our area. I just remember being a kid and like we had to leave my grandma because my grandma, she was gonna evacuate with her I think not her sisters. Well, yeah, it was her sisters. And so they were gonna come and get her a bit later. So I just remember like being a kid and be like, yo, we can't leave grandma. This, that, my grandma's gonna get killed. This, that, and the third. My grandma didn't get killed. Hallelujah. So yeah, man, we left. I just remember it being very rainy, very windy, and a lot of traffic. I promise you, evacuate from the city was like something straight out of a movie, man. I mean, traffic went for forever, man. Like you had prison buses going out the city buses like leaving the city, man. People were really scared of this hurricane, but most people really weren't. That's why a lot of people got killed in Hurricane Katrina, because when I say people in New Orleans, we don't really get fazed when somebody says a hurricane is coming. I mean, I'm pretty sure the city now that, you know, we've already been through Hurricane Katrina, a lot of people will, you know, take off into it, but before Hurricane Katrina, we was just like, but yeah, evacuate was crazy, man. I remember us going to this motel in like St. Charles. We went to this motel in St. Charles, and I just remember like seeing my dad and just like me and my brother just running to my dad, because at this time, like I told y'all, my dad was driving trucks, so we would only see him like every month or so. We stayed in this motel for like a day or 2 maybe, and we seen the damage that happened on the news, and we realized we couldn't go back to the city because the city was a river now. The levees had broken. A lot of water that the city is on went into the city, because like I said, New Orleans is 2 feet under sea level, so it was pretty easy for the water to just seep in, you feel me? Yeah, man, like when we seen the whole entire city covered in water, like nobody expected that. We seen all people on their roofs, you know, screaming for help, had big signs, red flags. At this point in time, we knew that we were homeless. Like we were legit homeless for about 2 weeks. So we would just hop from shelter to shelter. The whole nation was really trying to help. Well, not always the whole nation. Most of the South was trying to help Katrina victims. So we would just pop up at shelters, show our, you know, proof of residency, residency that we live in New Orleans, and they would just take us in. I mean, I didn't really know that we were homeless at the time, but not looking back at it, we were legit homeless for a minute. Staying in shelters with a whole bunch of people, sometimes like just traveling and sleeping in our cars. But after like 2 weeks of like sleeping in shelters, or a week and a half sleeping in shelters, my aunt Laura, she had called us up. She's from South Carolina. Well, she's not from South Carolina. She moved to South Carolina for work. And she was like, yo, y'all can come stay with us until y'all get back on your feet. So that's what we did. We packed up our bags, well, the 3 things we had, and we packed it up and we went to South Carolina, Columbia, South Carolina to be exact. Coming to South Carolina was a culture shock because, you know, growing up in New Orleans, all you know is city. All you know is city buses going through the area, second lines happening almost every Sunday, or sometimes other days than Sunday. You're used to the colorful houses, French quarters, man. It's just, New Orleans has a different type of vibe than any other city that I've went to. If you ever been to New Orleans, you get what I'm saying, man. It's just a different type of energy out there. It's different from any other city. It's different from New York. Different from anything. It's just like, well, you know, like when you're in New Orleans, you know that you're in New Orleans. You feel me? So coming to South Carolina was very weird. It was a lot of white people. Not to like be bad, but like the area that we lived in New Orleans was a lot of black people. I mean, you would only really see white people when you would go like to the French Quarter to like keep 100 with you. At least that's how I saw it, you know, in the kids' eyes. Another thing that I recognized when we moved here is that this is forest, bro. Like South Carolina was built in the middle of forest. See, in New Orleans, we had trees and stuff, but it was like on the side of the road, kind of. But like in South Carolina, like our backyard is just trees right now, you feel me? Tall pine trees for days. Like, bro, we got pine trees the size of LeBron James outside. Like it was just country. Like everybody had like a real country accent. Now after us living in our aunt's house for about a week or so, we had got registered for school here. And I remember going to school and just seeing like everybody knew that we were like Katrina victims, because I guess the teachers told them to, I don't know, man, but I just remember like getting a lot of donations from my teachers and my classmates. So everybody had like sympathy for us. And I didn't really get it at the time. I was just like, hey, free stuff. Like, I just got a free shirt for the, like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's how I saw it. But another thing I recognize about the schools is that we could wear whatever we want. See, New Orleans, almost every school is a Catholic school or a private school. At first I went to a Catholic school, then I went to like a public private school, kind of. Like, we had to wear uniforms, but it wasn't, I think it was private. Yeah, I just remember like every school in New Orleans that I went to, we had to wear like some type of dress code, and out here you just wear wherever you want. Yeah, man, we went to school, and when we got on our feet, we had moved into this 1 or 2, no, I think it was like a 1-bedroom apartment. Like we stayed there for literally 2 days and we didn't like it, so we moved to another apartment, and I think an area a bit further from that. But that apartment wasn't much either. Like we had, I think a 1 or 2, yeah, it was like 2-bedroom apartment. We didn't have much furniture. We had a table, some chairs, 2 beds, and a couch. And like a TV and a laptop. That's really all we had. In this picture you can see the apartment. This is when we had a little birthday party for my brother Kareem, and that was like really enough because we didn't do much. So my parents were trying to find like really good jobs at the time, and we were just going to school. Like me and my brother, we just went to school, so it was like, it was cool, I guess. But at this time, Hurricane Katrina was still fresh on us, and we still haven't gone back home to see our house. So we had packed up our bags one day, and we were like, we're gonna go back home and see if we can gut the house. And when we went back to the house, it was crazy because our house had 11 feet of water. Because on every house in the world, you could see the they had 2 things on the houses that you already knew that like your house was hit. One, it was like the FEMA spray paint. Like they would just do this big X with like a number on it. I didn't really know what it meant. FEMA spray paint, and then you would see the water line in your house. We had an 11-foot water line. House was just molded up. You see like our baby pictures on the front lawn. Somebody had even broken into our house because they had a lot of looters at the time. Somebody had broken. My dad was a painter. Well, my dad still was a painter. He was an artist at the time, and he would just draw a lot of art to put on our walls in the house, and somebody had stole all the art off our walls. And living in New Orleans, you know, that's like an artist zone. You know, a lot of artists go to New Orleans just to, you know, be creative. So it was understandable, kind of. I have some pictures to show y'all, but they're on this old laptop we have, and I'm not sure if it works. Like the laptop that we had when we first moved to South Carolina, we still have that laptop. It's an ultra cheapable laptop, and I don't know if it works. So we have a lot of the pictures that we took of our house. We were gutting it out on that laptop, and I'll see if I can put them in. But if I can't, just know, I'm gonna try to tell y'all what we saw with my words. Now, when you looked at our house, it was just mold everywhere. You looked on the outside, it was mold. You see the water line, mold. Go to the house. My parents really didn't allow us to go in the house for long because mold is toxic. Me and my brother, we stood outside most of the time, just doing all the dirty work outside, trying to, you know, pick up pictures that we saw. Yeah, but like our couches molded, clothes molded. Like when I say we lost everything for real, for real. And you know, seeing that as a kid, when you see all your toys just gone, molded up, your clothes molded up, I wouldn't even say it's traumatizing. It's just like, you just think to yourself like, wow, we really don't have anything. Like I'm telling you, at this first year of moving to South Carolina, You know, we really didn't have much as a family, you know. Back to the house, yeah. We had everything trashed. Like, we had my grandfather's guns, all of us jammed. Like, me and my cousins, we would get the guns. Because our cousins was helping us get this house at the time, because our grandma's house that we lived in was like the family house. Every Sunday we would go there to have a meal. That was just like the house that everybody would go to after an event to talk. I'm pretty sure if y'all have, you know, that one house in your family that y'all always go to, that was my grandma's house. So everybody came in and pitched in to help us get the house that we lived in, but it was mainly for our grandma, you know, that's our grandma's house. But yeah, man, we got it out the house, and it was just like crazy just seeing everything go to waste, man. They had trucks going to the city to give lunches to people that was gutting their houses. It was free. And, you know, the city really helped a lot, you know, just trying to put the city back together. Like, the media didn't really portray it like that, though. But, you know, being there, you see a lot of people helping each other, trying to get people's houses back. Like, neighbors will help each other, you know what I'm saying? And that's what I think I miss about, like, New Orleans, living here in South Carolina. Like, a lot of people, like, in New Orleans, people would say hi to you. Like, out here, bro, people are so antisocial and just look at you with a mean look. Like, in New Orleans, man, everybody talks to everybody, even if they don't know you. Like, you walking up the street and they walking the opposite way, we gonna say hi. Like, I'm gonna acknowledge you. You know what I'm saying? Out here, it's just, I don't know, man. The people out here stink. And that's one thing I miss about New Orleans. It's just like the family aspect of everything. Like, your neighbor is really your neighbor. Your neighbor is just not a person that lives next to you. But yeah, man, that was a family thing. Like, we just went out there, did it, went back home, and you know, eventually we got some other guy to rebuild the house. That's where my grandma lives today. But yeah, that's pretty much the story. And I really want to tell y'all what this story, why this story means so much to me. Because I feel like if Hurricane, don't take this in the wrong way, but I feel like if Hurricane Katrina would have never happened, I wouldn't be the person I am today. Like, I wouldn't be making YouTube videos. I wouldn't talk the way I talk. I wouldn't dress the way I dress. Like, everything about me would just be different. Another thing that I'm really happy, I wouldn't say I'm happy that happened, but a learning experience. A learning experience was just, you know, seeing everything that we had lost. You know, like when you leave your house with the like 3 pieces of clothes and you come back and you see that you lost everything, you have to regain it back. I didn't really get it. I mean, I got it at the time, but I didn't really get it at the time. Seeing the way that we had to regain everything was a very humbling experience, man, especially for me right now, you know, as a teenager. I just graduated from high school, and, you know, just seeing my parents' work ethic, man, I love my parents so much. Like, bro, when I say we literally came from nothing, like, my dad had no job, my mom had no job coming out here. Like, seeing what we have now and seeing how hard my parents work for us to have, you know, such fortunate lives that we have, man, like, that's why I work so hard at what I do, because I just really want to, you know, put on for my mom, my dad, my brothers, you feel me? Because my parents worked so hard for, like, sheesh, I ain't trying to cry, but I don't think my parents know how much I really appreciate them, so. Nah, man, I'm just really, I ain't gonna cry. I'm just really, I'm very fortunate for the life I have, man. I'm highly blessed. You know, just seeing like what we have now, like this house, try not to cry. Seeing what we have at this time, you know, this house, it may not seem much to people, but seeing what we came from and, you know, like being literally homeless to what we have now, like this might not seem much to people like in the area, because I say like we live in an area where everybody has a pretty, I wouldn't say big house, but most of my friends have a 2-story house, you know, live on the lake, all that. But, you know, seeing what my parents work for, man, it's crazy. Like, we own businesses now. My dad's the head manager at his job. My mom the head manager at her job. I have a photography business. I'm about to start another business. You know, seeing where we came from and like what we have now, like it's crazy. Like we live in a 3-bedroom house now. And, you know, this house means so much to my family because this is really the first house that we ever owned. You know, this picture right here is a picture of me, my dad, and my brother when we first got this house, because this is literally the first house we've ever had, man. You know, I really don't ever want to sell this house. Like, even if we do move it, like, I know, I'm not even saying even if we do, we gonna move out this house eventually, like in the next 2 years, promise you. Like, we gonna move out this house, but I always want to keep this house just as a reminder, like, this is where you came from. Like, don't ever forget where you were before this house. That's why I want to keep this house, because this house means so much to me, man. Like, my parents really worked they asses off to, like, man. Like, my dad wakes up 3 a.m. every morning for work, and I work so hard, bro, because I see him waking up, because I'm always up, man. I see him going to work, and I really just don't want my dad to do that no more. Like, I work so hard because I was just really willing to tell my parents that I work so hard for me to, you know, do what I do. I just really want to tell them, like, one day, like, chill out, bro. Like, you can chill. Like, everything's on me now. Same for my brothers, man. I want my brothers to, you know, experience things and do this, that, and the third. And I want to be that person that provides for my family. I do everything for my family, bro. Like, it may seem like sometimes I do this for myself, but at the end of the day, like, my family's always in the back of my mind because, like, that's the way I think. I want my family to experience better. But yeah, man, that's my story. And I'm just really grateful for where I am right now in life. I feel like God really made Hurricane Katrina happen for a reason, you know, just to push some people out of the city. Because a lot of people in New Orleans, I don't know if it's just like a small town thing or just, I don't know, it might be everywhere, it might just be in New Orleans. But a lot of people just like to stay in New Orleans, but, you know, a lot of people don't want to leave. So I feel like that was just his way of just pushing a lot of people out, putting people in new places, and we're in a new place. And I really felt like God put us here, you know, for all of us, for the better of all of us. You know, I feel like what I'm doing right now is just like what I love to do, man. I'm creating. I'm a comedian, filmmaker, photographer. You know, I feel like God put me on this earth to entertain, you know, bring smiles to people. So that's why I really enjoy what I do, man, because I just feel like I'm really put on this earth to do that. So, yeah, I hope y'all enjoy listening to my story. And until next time, deuces.